Tonight on Ctv3 News, urgent search underway for 13-year-old Lizzie Suntekum after disappearance near Sokot's border. Transport Minister Dr. Louis Zabane engages in third consultation with Belize bus operators on national bus company and infrastructure improvements. And Belize champions ocean conservation and blue economy at UN Ocean Conference. These are some of the stories we have for you tonight for Tuesday, June 17, 2025.
Electricity is evolving, and BEL is leading the way with smarter connections across Belize. Meet AMI, Advanced Metering Infrastructure. It's not just a meter, it's a smarter way to manage power. Smart meters record your energy use in real time and securely send the data to BEL. Key customer benefits include real-time insights into energy usage, improved home energy planning, integration of solar, battery, and EV technologies, and innovative customer service solutions. Get ready! AMI is coming soon to municipalities across Belize, including the Keys, to give you more control and reliability. BEL, bringing you a brighter tomorrow.
I welcome you to the graduation of our first cohort, as well as the launch of our second cohort of the project entitled Increasing Economic Power for Micro-Entrepreneurs.
Through this bilateral collaboration, the Women's Empowerment Project, over the past 4 years, we have witnessed numerous women entrepreneurs making significant strides and fulfilling their potential. There are so many inspiring stories that encourage us to continue doing this.
We can celebrate 74 women that will graduate from round 1 of our ministry's Increasing Economic Power for Micro-Entrepreneurs project, and at the same time we're welcoming an additional 60 women entrepreneurs who will participate in round 2. To the women here today, you are the brains, you are the hearts and the hands of this initiative, and you are the reason why we are here. Let this be a reminder that your voice matters, that your work matters, and that your economic empowerment is a national priority.
Good evening. With your newscast, also simulcast on Fiesta FM 106.7, I am Jaden Gamis. Authorities and family members are desperately searching for 13-year-old Lizzie Suntekum, who went missing on Monday in the village of Socots, located in the Cayo district. The teenager, who resides in Melchor de Mencos, Guatemala, crossed the border as she routinely does to attend school at San Jose Primary in the community of Socots. According to initial reports, the young girl was last seen around lunchtime at her school. Classmates told police that she mentioned an aunt would be picking her up after classes. Moments later, the girl was reportedly seen entering a white pickup truck that was occupied by a woman holding an infant and a male of Creole descent, who was driving the vehicle. Her grandmother, who lives in the community of Socots, says the family is desperate for answers as to the whereabouts of their girl.
Es un costumbre de ellos venir temprano y ahí almuerzan en la escuela porque están en el feeding program que daban en la escuela, ¿no? Y no salen del compound hasta en la tarde cuando su papá los viene a buscar. Ayer, cuando nos avisaron como a las 1:30 que Lizzie no aparecía en su clase. Y no sabemos el motivo por qué. Porque ahí estaba con sus hermanitos almorzando. Pero después, cuando ya tocó el ver, ella no apareció en su clase después de almuerzo. Así que llamaron a su hermanita a preguntarle si no sabe de su hermana y ella dijo que no, porque ahí estaba con ella comiendo y con su hermanito. Así que hasta ahorita no sabemos qué sucedió, solo información de sus compañeras de clase, una de ellas que dijo que le comentó que su tía lo venía a buscar a las 12:45. Pues no sabemos qué tía, porque ella no tiene tía aquí en Belice. Ella vive en Melchor, pero ella le fueron a preguntar al maestro no sabe nada, el principal. Yo creo que tienen que investigar, a hablar al principal, a la maestra, a ver, o los compañeros, ¿no?, de clase, a ver qué saben, qué les dijo, o algo, porque toda la familia está devastada, que no sabe qué pensar ni qué hacer.
What has raised major concern here in Belize is the fact that the child does not have immediate family in Belize aside from her grandmother, and her parents say they did not authorize anyone to pick her up that day, and no known relatives were scheduled to meet her at the school.
Una señora que tiene bebé y su esposo que es así de piel moreno como culillo, que estaban ahí con ella. Y ella se metió en el carro. Pues usted sabe que los niños todos vieron que se metió en ese pick-up blanco y se fue. Yo no le puedo decir si es cierto o qué, porque son los comentarios de los demás. Pero ella desde ayer andaba, ya va a ser 24 horas y no hemos sabido nada de ella. La mamá de ella tiene una tía que está allá, vive allá en Pine Ridge. Pues sí, la hemos llamado a ella y ella dice que ella no sabe nada, porque ella anduvo aquí fin de semana. Pero yo ya hablé con ella también y dice que ella no sabe nada de la chamaca. Así es que no sabemos dónde se fue.
Lizzie, according to her grandmother, is known as a quiet and well-mannered child with no previous history of trouble at home.
Mira que ella es una chamaca bien calmada, bien obediente y vienen a la escuela bien mudaditos, traen su dinero para sus snacks y no se les imaginó nunca qué está sucediendo, qué va a pasar, qué es su mente, porque alguien ha de ser que le aconsejó mal o lo que sea, porque tú sabes cómo son las personas. Pero yo digo que la persona que hizo esto es por la ley, no debía de hacer.
No. Su mamá de ella tampoco no le dijo nada si ella hubiera mencionado que se conoció a alguien.
No vio nada sospechoso, nada que sepa porque tenía en mente algo ella sí.
¿Ella tenía teléfono, la niña?
No, porque como no es necesario por causa de que ellos vienen temprano y no tienen que salir de la escuela hasta en la tarde cuando su papá los viene a buscar. Él los trae en la mañana y él los lleva en la tarde. Porque dijeron que ahí, pues no está bien confirmado, pero que ahí en Westar vieron una chamaquita igualita a ella que trabajó a usar el baño y que iba en un tipo blanco. ¿Qué seguro es? No sé, pero nosotros estamos averiguando porque queremos saber de ella, porque es una niña que nunca sale a la calle ni a jugar fútbol, ni a pasear con sus amigas, ni nada.
The disappearance has prompted a cross-border alert as family members from both Belize and Guatemala plead for the public's help in locating the teenager.
Pues yo solo quiero decirle a la persona que lo llevó que no debía de hacer estas cosas, porque ella es una niña que no le pertenece a ella, ¿no? Y si ella lo tiene, debe de entregarlo, porque esta es por la ley tener un niño sin autorización de sus padres. Si fuera que esa muchacha fuera que anduviera así de loco, pues es diferente, pero yo le pido a la persona que lo tiene que lo devuelva a su mamá, porque ellos viven bien allí, están bien mudados y todo, tienen comida 3 veces al día. Así que por favor, entrégatela a su mamá, porque llama, me puso de mi número, o está en el Facebook. Me llamas y me decís qué pasó, por favor, que no le oigas consejos malos de otra persona. Tu casa es tu casa y ahí tú vivís bien. Y si querés llamarme, llámame, busca mi número y me llamas, por favor.
Police in Orange Walk Town, as we understand, has conducted a raid at a residence in the community of August Pine Ridge where a distant relative of the family resides. That operation, as we understand, did not result in any useful leads. Anyone with information regarding the whereabouts of the missing girl or the white pickup truck is urged to contact the nearest police station immediately. Lizzie was last seen wearing her school uniform as seen in the picture provided by her family. She is described as being of clear complexion, light brown hair, about 4 feet 5 inches tall, and of slim build. Anyone with information about Lizzie's whereabouts are asked to contact the nearest police station or her family at the phone number 661-5855. As we told you on Monday, government officials, industry leaders, and key stakeholders within the sugar industry gathered for an emergency high-level meeting to confront the devastating outbreak of the Fusarium fungus, which is currently grappling cane fields in the north. The session was held at the CERDI headquarters in the Corozal district and saw the participation of the Ministry of Agriculture, including Minister Jose Mai, CEO Servulo Baizam, Senior Technical Advisor to the Minister Hugh O'Brien, and Director of Projects Jose Novello, the Ministry of Economic Development, the Sugar Industry Research and Development Institute, CERDI, the Caribbean Community Climate Change Center, CCCCC, the Climate Resilient Sugarcane Agriculture Project, CERSAP, IICA, among other stakeholders. In an interview with the minister during Monday's meeting, he highlighted the significance of having joint discussions as the industry stands to lose millions at the hands of Fusarium fungus.
We don't want to sound alarmist, we don't want to be sensational here, but we have to say the truth. The sugar industry is in serious crisis. I think today we arrived at the 853,000 ton mark. We are 119,000 tons behind in harvest compared to last year. We are 23,000 tons of sugar short, calculating that we may be, compared to last year, $53 million short this year in proceeds from sugar and molasses. We don't know if we'll make it to the 900,000 ton mark. From the reports seen today at this meeting, we are not sure what the size of the crop will be next year. The experts on the ground are saying that Fusarium disease is spread across the northern region. So every single cane field has it. The severity of the infection is what is different. Some have severe infection, others barely showing it. But as the rainfall continues, you will see that beginning of the crop next year, the majority of fields will be showing serious infection levels because the spores, as we are being told today, are spread during the rainy season.
At the conclusion of the meeting, a number of commitments were made, including the allocation of $500,000 from the Ministry of Agriculture Capital II funds, which will be used to implement subsoiling for deep drainage along with a fungicide treatment and a cocktail of organic rooting stimulant. and beneficial microorganisms on 2,500 acres of sugarcane as a major pilot initiative to be implemented jointly with interested and progressive farmers. Secondly, through ICA's Hemispheric Fund for Climate Change Disasters, $100,000 has been approved for the testing of native trichoderma fungus. This will be done using University of Belize's laboratory and their scientists. Once this is determined, it will be mass-produced to be distributed to farmers at an affordable cost. Through the World Bank project, SURSAP, $2 million is being allocated to strengthen CIRDI's capacity to produce trichoderma fungus to help combat the ongoing threat. Partnering with the private sector, the Ministry of Agriculture is also seeking to obtain sugarcane varieties that are tolerant or resistant to Fusarium disease. Finally, the 5Cs project will also be a key player in the fight against Fusarium to save the sugar industry. But this will be more in the medium term. Yesterday, we told you about the robbery that took place at Cab Technologies located in San Antonio Road in Orange Walk. The incident occurred on Saturday morning at around 10:30 a.m. when a male person of Hispanic descent disguised as a delivery man entered the business armed with a handgun and demanded money and cell phones from the cashier. Tonight, we can tell you that the robber walked away with 6 cell phones, including 2 iPhones. Anyone with information on these stolen items are asked to contact the nearest police station. Viewers and listeners are also reminded that purchasing stolen goods is against the law. Coming up next, Transport Minister meets with Belize unions to strengthen collaboration amid recent controversy. Stay tuned.
The total span of the entire structure is approximately 25 meters, and it also has an overall width of 12.5 meters, which includes 2 lanes and also 2 pedestrian footpaths of 2 meters each. The design span for this bridge is basically 75 to 100 years, so that's the expectation of its life.
It's $2.4 million to complete the bridge, and we also did the boat ramp. We had to incur a little bit additional expense because we did the pontoon to be able to allow the residents to be able to cross while we are building. Infrastructure is one of the key elements for economic development. It allows people to generate more income. It does so many things. It will open the whole area for free flow of traffic. It gives you safety, and we're allowing, because of the height of the bridge, we're allowing now traffic of boats underneath. It will enhance the tourism product. It betters the quality of life of the neighborhood. And that's what we want to do. We are here to serve the people, and these projects is a symbol of that.
I wish to announce the renaming of the new bridge, not in a spirit of resentment towards our colonial history, but to honor an individual who truly reflected the country's identity, aspirations, and progress.
It's good, I would say good, and people will be happy to see a new bridge.
I'm very, very elated that this bridge has finally been realized for the people of today. It will change a lot. We'll move better, we'll move faster, and some people might even stop and take pictures because they're a pretty bridge, they're a nice bridge. I like the bridge.
From the minute I heard about it, something that I personally wanted done, this is a welcome news for Punta Gorda.
Transport Minister Honorable Dr. Louis Zabané today held a 3rd extensive consultation session with bus operators from across the country as discussions continue to move forward with plans of introducing a national bus company in Belize. Today's consultation exercise included an extensive question and answer session where those in attendance were given opportunities to openly ventilate concerns or questions surrounding the current proposal. Now, while discussions with bus operators continue as the process to have valuations conducted on all private bus companies is ongoing, Minister Zabane today highlighted an important aspect of the proposed national company. Part of the commitment as a partner in the PPP, government has endeavored to ensure improvement in current transportation infrastructure across the country. Even as discussions continue over the national company, Minister Zabane says that movements are being made to begin the transportation of bus terminals across the country.
CEO Williams is working on, along with the Ministry of Finance, to get the funds that people pay for bathroom fees to be reinvested in the terminals and improve them, improve the bathrooms. Many of the bathrooms that have no toilet seats, and these kinds of things. It's not rocket science, and it doesn't require a whole lot to bring them up to standard that are humane for our people. So that is ongoing. We also have work with our partners at UNDP, and there's a certain element of funds there that we're looking to invest in the present terminal in Belize City. We're working with MIDH. Hopefully we can get the area in the Belmopan terminal paved, because we know there a lot of dust comes up when the bigger buses come in, the MCI buses, and we have to look at other places. But that's at least to bring up what we have in the meantime to some civil standard. Now when it comes to building new terminals across the country, that is part of the plan of the new national company, where in the opening balance sheet that we start with, that will guide us as to what additional investment will be needed to have a new terminal in Belize City, new terminal in Punta Gorda, a new terminal in San Ignacio, a new terminal in Orange Walk. So you're talking quite a lot of investment there already, and then the upgrading of the other terminals in the other municipalities. So these are things that we're working on in getting values for what these things will require, so that by the time we get to the point of getting the valuations that we're doing right now, we can have a very good idea as to what we want to start off with on January 1st of next year.
As the phased approach to having the establishment of a PPP continues, Minister Zabane says the government's commitment towards the infrastructural improvement of the entire transport system also forms part of the valuation process, which must now be conducted.
Mean that a large chunk of the dividends will be going back to the government for infrastructure?
Well, it does not necessarily mean that the government will be the one to invest in the additional capital that's needed for the upgrade, because you have other institutional investors, as we know, with other utilities like BEL, BWSL, BTL. You have other entities like Social Security, Central Bank. You have other institutional investors like the insurance companies. I have not met with them yet, so I don't want to sound like I'm jumping ahead, but I do plan to meet with them and explain this investment opportunity to them, and so they get that option. Plus, some of the present bus operators, in particular the larger ones, have expressed interest in putting in additional investment into this company to complement what we're doing.
Additional meetings are expected with individual bus operators in different municipalities as the valuation process continues in the coming weeks. In a move aimed to build stronger collaboration and improving industrial relations, the Minister of Transport today met with representatives from the joint unions in Belize. The meeting, according to Minister Honorable Dr. Louis Zabane, serves as an opportunity to address any concerns by the unions. This meeting comes at the heels of criticism by the president of the PSU, Dean Flowers, who spoke on the recent findings of wrongdoing at the transport office in Spanish Lookout. In that regard, Minister Zabané today acknowledged the concerns of the union leader, however, added that his criticisms was ill-placed since the issue and others similar to it have been of his top priority since taking over in March of this year.
Well, yes, in terms of the one at Spanish Lookout itself, we have a very vigorous investigation going on. We've been working with the Office of the DPP and the police so that we can have proper evidence and a strong case when we end up in court, because that's likely where we're going to go. And so, we're serious about this. We see that some of the things that occurred there may have been duplicated in other places throughout the country, and so we're doing our investigation. And this started from day one when I got to the office. We already know that some of these things occur in the ministry and in other ministries, and so that was my primary focus when I spoke with all our managers and supervisors across the country. I made it very clear that we need to do the right things and that everybody has a chance. If they were doing certain things, we're going to, and they get caught in that, then they will have to suffer the consequences of that. But that we don't need to engage in those kinds of things, that we're here to serve our people. So when I heard the union leaders speaking and so on, that's quite welcome. But I don't need for him to say anything for us to do our work. If that's how I would operate, then something would be wrong with me. I am doing my work, and I know what I have to do, and there's investigation going on, and those processes have to be followed properly so that we can have a good outcome at the end. At the time, in the previous administration, I was a Minister of State, so as you know, we get a rotation at Cabinet, and at one of those meetings, he had mentioned that this was already ongoing. So we have to be fair to Minister Ferguson, that he had already raised the red flags about what was going on. When I came on, I continued and I made sure that we were vigorous with moving forward, with finding out exactly what's going on, and to ensure that we follow the laws as far as those things are concerned.
Minister Zabané also addressed concerns raised by the PSU president about funds being recently allocated for a new vehicle for transport CEO Chester Williams.
Well, when I chatted with the CEO, he brought it up to me that he had heard that, but in fact, he said he had called the gentleman to tell him that that's a vehicle that he had before. So I personally did not call Ministry of Finance to check. Did you make a payment today for the CEO's vehicle? I don't get into those things because I know the Ministry of Finance does things the right way. Getting a vehicle has a certain process that you have to follow, and I have every confidence that those things are in place and that the CEOs get a vehicle. So as far as I'm concerned, those processes are in place for a good reason.
The government of Belize, led by Prime Minister John Briceño, concluded its participation at the Third Union Nations Ocean Conference, UNOC 3, held in Nice, France, from June 9th to June 13th, 2025. The Belize delegation played a pivotal role in championing the priorities of Small Island Developing States, SIDS, advancing global and regional ocean action, and engaging in the international donor community on sustainable financing for national marine conservation and sustainable fisheries. As a frontline ocean nation, Belize used the global platform to advocate for nature-positive, climate-resilient solutions, grounded in equity and regional solidarity. Prime Minister Briceño delivered powerful interventions during key events, including SIDS Collocation for Nature, Perspectives and Achievements on Ocean Action, and the SIDS Doc side event. His message underscored the existential importance of healthy oceans to the survival of prosperity of SIDS and called for international cooperation to advance blue economy development and resilience.
Belize is fully committed to the Global 30 by 30, and we are on track to exceed it. Our petroleum operations infinite moratorium, along with our blue economy development policy and maritime economic plan, ensures that economic progress remains aligned with sustainable ocean governance. Belize's blue economic model is based on a reciprocal relationship with the ocean. Like our Pacific brothers and sisters, we believe that we should take nothing more than what we need. And more so, we appreciate intimately that the ocean's generosity is not limitless. Unbridled exploitative human activities are endangering the ocean, all its resources, and all of us who depend on it. Despite Belize's efforts and care for our ocean, we cannot shield ourselves from the consequences of climate change, rising seas, extreme weather, and warming temperatures. Not for lack of will, but because we are not major emitters. In fact, Belize contributes a mere 0.01% to global greenhouse gas emissions, and we remain a carbon sink. Yet we have disproportionate costs, sinking into debt to recover from disasters we did not cause. Our story mirrors that of the ocean, always giving, now at risk. Coral reefs have lost nearly half their extent since the 1870s, and without urgent action, most could disappear by 2040, taking countless species with them. This is not just about life below water, it's about life above it. The third United Nations Conference Ocean must be more than celebration of a new declaration. It must be remembered as the day the world committed to transformative, inclusive, and equitable change. Today, we should be celebrating the commitment of major emitters. This is a scientific and political imperative, a matter of justice, and above all, a matter of survival. My people deserve a chance to thrive just as others have. We must work together to achieve the 30 by 30 conservation targets and ensure sustainable use of ocean resources. Change must be deliberate, nature positive, and technically sound. Finally, change must be fair. We all have different capacity. Belize has shown leadership, but our resources are limited. Like other SIDS, we face unique structural challenges. We need tailored support, global support. Today marks another milestone in our global mission to protect the ocean. Let it be our legacy, the moment when the world shows change that makes a lasting difference for our planet and for our people.
A major highlight of Belize's engagement was its leadership role in the launch of the Actioning Blue 30 by 30 vision for the ocean, a landmark political declaration by Caribbean nations aiming to protect 30% of the region's marine ecosystem by 2030. This collective commitment demonstrates the region's readiness to act boldly for ocean health and climate stability while showcasing South-South cooperation as a driver of global change. In parallel, Belize actively engaged with key members of the international donor community and the World Wildlife Fund, WWF, to mobilize support for its ambitious Project Finance for Permanence, PFP, initiative. Through a series of bilateral meetings and technical dialogues, Prime Minister Briceño and senior Belizean officials presented the PFP as a cutting-edge financing mechanism designed to secure long-term funding for marine protection, biodiversity, and coastal community resilience. The Belize delegation also contributed expertise in the thematic sessions on coral reef restoration, sustainable coastal tourism, ocean accounting, and blue economy financing. At the same time, Belize endorsed several high-impact pledges at UNOC 3, including the development ocean accounts by 2030 for a quiet ocean to protect climate-resilient reefs. The delegation also highlighted Belize's leadership in best practices for coral reef restoration and resilience, creating a greater regional impact through sustained coral reef health and resilience. Other key bilaterals held by the Belize delegation included a meeting with senior officials from Gabon and the Nature Conservancy, TNC, to discuss the progress of Belize's Blue Bonds initiative and explore opportunities for collaboration between Belize and Gabon, particularly as Gabon recently finalized its own ocean financing agreement. These exchanges offered valuable insights and laid the groundwork for deepened cooperation in areas such as marine conservation, sustainable fisheries, and ocean governance. There is more news after the break. Stay tuned.
Electricity is evolving, and BEL is leading the way with smarter connections across Belize. Meet AMI, Advanced Metering Infrastructure. It's not just a meter, it's a smarter way to manage power. Smart meters record your energy use in real time and securely send the data to BEL. Key customer benefits include real-time insights into energy usage, improved home energy planning, integration of solar, battery, and EV technologies, and innovative customer service solutions. Get ready! AMI is coming soon to municipalities across Belize, including the Keys, to give you more control and reliability. BEL, bringing you a brighter tomorrow.
Honorable Karim Musa, Minister of Home Affairs and New Growth Industries, is currently representing Belize in Lima, Peru from June 16th to June 19th, 2025, at a high-level dialogue of the annual meeting of the El Pacto 2.0 program. The event, held under the theme A Partnership That Projects Key Milestones Towards the EU-CELAC Summit, is focused on fostering the European Union, Latin America, and Caribbean strategic partnership on justice and security to fight transnational organized crime. During the event, ministers, attorney generals, judges, and other high-level authorities and their technical teams of the European Union, Latin America, and the Caribbean will meet to assess strategies focusing on the impact of current public policies in the fight against organized crime, as well as to discuss emerging criminal threats affecting the regions. Participating in a panel discussion on innovating in public policy, transforming in operational action, new response to organized crime, Honorable Musa stated, "The threat to our societies from organized crime is constantly evolving and adapting. Constantly changing criminal dynamics mean that as governments, we must be flexible to adopt new changes that are impactful while maintaining a link to a medium and long-term vision of justice and national security." Minister Musa went on to highlight some of Belize's efforts, such as the whole-of-government multi-sectoral approach to crime prevention and reduction, mediation and rehabilitation initiatives, as well as providing vocational and skills training opportunities for youth. While this high-level dialogue of the annual meeting of the El Pacto 2.0 program aims to strengthen alliances to address the main challenges in judicial and security cooperation sectors among the regions. It will also serve to inform the program's next steps towards the 4th EU-CELAC Summit scheduled for the latter part of 2025. Belize returned to the 113th International Labour Conference, ILC, held in Geneva from June 2nd to June 13th, 2025, its first in-person attendance since 2009. This historic re-engagement highlights Belize's commitment to advancing international labor standards and fostering social justice. The ILC, the highest decision-making body of the International Labour Organization, ILO, convened delegates from all 187 member states alongside representatives of employers and workers to deliberate and adopt new convention recommendations and resolutions aimed at shaping the future of work. The Belize delegation was led by Honorable Florencio Marin Jr., Minister of Rural Transformation, Community Development, Labor and Local Government. He was accompanied by Valentino Schall, Chief Executive Officer Risela Dominguez Pat, Labor Commissioner Ella Waite, President of the National Trade Union Congress of Belize, NTUCB, and Yorshabel Katus, representative of the Belize Chamber of Commerce and Industry, BCCI. During the conference, Belize made substantive contributions to global discussions on labor standards. Belize supported the first stage approval of a draft convention and recommendation on platform work, advocating for fair classification, algorithm transparency, and access to social protection for gig workers. The country also supported the finalized convention and recommendation on biological hazards in the workplace, aimed at protecting workers from pandemics, zoonotic threats, and other health risks in the workplace. In a key technical advancement, Belize supported the ILO's Maritime Labor Convention, MLC, amendments which enhances protection from seafarers, including access to shore leave, safe working conditions, measures against harassment. In addition, Belize reaffirmed its commitment to ILO Recommendation Number 204, which encourages formalizing informal work sectors that are a significant part of Belize's economy. Belize cast its vote in favor of the ILO's program and budget for 2026-2027, guaranteeing technical assistance for its National Descent Work Country program. Furthermore, Belize aligned with international consensus, voting to grant Palestine non-member observer status in the ILO. In his statement to the conference, Honorable Marin Jr. affirmed Belize's support to the creation of inclusive global labor standards that ensure all workers are protected. Justice must be more than an aspiration. It must be lived, legislated, and localized. As labor standards evolve, Belize has positioned itself not just as a participant, but as an advocate for dignified, safe, and inclusive employment for all. The Ministry of Rural Transformation, Community Development, Labor, and Local Government extends its appreciation to the ILO, social partners, and national stakeholders for their continued collaboration and support. Belize looks forward to implementing the knowledge gained and contributing actively to future ILO engagements, including the 114th ILC in 2026. And that's the news. We invite you to join us for another newscast on Wednesday, June 18th, here on Ctv3 News and Fiesta FM 106.7. Remember that to read a text version of the news, you can visit our website at www.ctv3news.com. You can also log on to our Facebook page for current stories at facebook.com/CTV3 Belize News, or our YouTube channel at CTV3 News BZ. From all of us here at CTV3 News, thank you for watching and listening. Good night.